to 50% less delivered to your home. Visit orderlymeds.com/radio. Individual results may vary. Eligibility required. See site for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers have the best record in Major League Baseball after a 3-game sweep over Tampa Bay. The sweep put the Dodgers at 48-27. They have a 9-game lead over San Diego in the NL West. The Dodgers are off today. They start a 3-game series at home Friday night against Baltimore. The first round of the World Cup is generating high TV ratings for Fox Sports and Telemundo, the primary broadcast partners for the World Cup. An average of 6 million viewers tuned into Fox Sports for each of the first 16 group matches. That's a 128% increase from first-round matches for the World Cup in 2022. An average of 7.5 million people watch first-round matches on Telemundo, the Spanish-language network based in Miami. The 7.5 million is a 234% increase from 2022. 18 million viewers on Fox Sports watched the U.S. beat Paraguay last Friday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. In my prior commentary about Destination Crenshaw, or Procrastination Crenshaw as we call it around here, I opine that sometimes neglect becomes a decision. I want to challenge my own neglect becomes a decision thesis in just a moment. This $100 million revitalization project was supposed to transform 1.3 miles of Crenshaw Boulevard into a world-class celebration of Black art and culture. It was first promised to open in 2023, then 2024, and here we are, still waiting, still suffering. The businesses along this corridor, Black-owned businesses, are suffocating. Construction chaos everywhere, shuttered storefronts, a community being bled dry by broken promises. So, I stand by my earlier formulation that neglect becomes a decision. But as I have thought more about the gross negligence, the incompetence on steroids, it occurs to me that sometimes neglect isn't just a decision. Neglect is the default position of some Black electeds. Not all, but some. They just don't believe that Black folk deserve the very best. They don't believe that we deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. So, we go from being constituents on the campaign trail to collateral once they're sworn into office. And when, for example, one is turned out of office and can't run again, but is still clutching the gavel of power, one thinks that he can stay comfortably above the fray while we anguish for years on end. The apparent attitude is, I'll just leave this mess for the next person to clean up. That's what it feels like, Mr. President, Mr. LA City Council President. But it's not just him, it's the local media too, Black and white, corporate and independent. Look at how little has been said about this never-ending nightmare in Crenshaw, year after year after year. Nobody at City Hall and nobody who's supposed to be holding City Hall accountable seems to care one bit about the safety and security of Crenshaw residents and the Black business owners who are slowly being strangled. Don't be fooled. This isn't just a construction delay. This is what disrespect looks like with a budget attached. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Girl, you're looking sweeter now. You brighter every day, girl. Wish that I could love you right in a special way. Ooh, like my
KBLA Talk 1580. Uncle Charlie will be there. You may not have any idea, though. You might have heard John Legend, you might have heard Uncle Charlie, but you might not know the scope. And we're going to also try to wheedle some things that might not even be public yet out of this man. He's sitting with me in the studio, the owner, founder, and CEO of Bridge Street Incorporated. He was a city council member for the 10th District, longtime organizer, and the former head of the LA Federation of Labor. He's also a dad. He is a community organizer. Martin Ludlow, good morning. I should have said the visionary. I did. The visionary behind the LA Jazz Festival. You got so many titles. Good morning.
Just got to try to keep one up if I can.
Yeah, running from the titles.
I'll hold on to Dad. I love that one.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dominique.
Yes, good morning. Happy Father's Day to you
Thank
while
you.
you're holding on to that one. Yeah, it's happy Juneteenth.
All of the above.
So, I mean, basically what you are doing right now is launching a major, massive LA institution in the LA Jazz Festival. I mean, that's really what it is. We have little jazz festivals in cities all around that are part of LA County. And we love jazz, clearly.
Some great ones, yeah.
Yeah, some great ones. We got clubs. But we've never had a big main LA Jazz Festival. That seems weird.
Yeah. No, that's that hit me early, when I got here to LA. It was pretty stunning. I grew up in a music town. Oberlin, Ohio has a conservatory of music. A lot of jazz, a lot of classical. And when I got to LA, really knowing the history of jazz and being very familiar with New Orleans Jazz Festival, I was pretty surprised at what you just said. And to your point, incredible jazz festivals. I mean, Long Beach been around forever. Gardena killing it. Now Leimert Park. Stanley Clark with Santa Monica. Just really, really special projects. But you go to New Orleans, you go to Montreal, you go to Montreux. When Jazz Fest is happening, it's like harvest season in that city. And it just takes over. And it's everywhere. And you feel it. And that's what we should have here.
And that's what we do have here, apparently, starting in August. LA Jazz Festival is new. This is something, it's black-owned, obviously, because it's owned by you. And it's something also different. I don't know, but it seems to me it's different in the commitment to social impact. So it is a jazz festival. There's a lot of music. We'll get into that for sure. But the basis of it, which is not surprising because a lot of the work that you've done that I've tracked is social impact or socially innovative business. So talk about that model when it comes to a jazz festival.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So it's owned by people of color. I'll start with that. So I am the primary owner, but I do have a Mexican-American investor who came on early and put up the startup funds that allowed us to get to really where we are today. Good brother, Mike Sanchez out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, runs his own company, Red Hot Records. And so we both had the passion for music. I've been at this for almost 15 years, as you know, and because you've been along the ride almost every single day of it. So, Dominique, just so much love and appreciation to you. And I know your listeners know you're that person, but they really don't know.
I absolutely believe in the idea. But when you say at it 15 years, you're talking about laying the groundwork for this jazz festival to happen. It's not something you think of on Tuesday and on Wednesday you put up a sign.
No, absolutely. And look, I think anybody out there who's ever launched a business or a corporation, I mean, your own station, with Tavis, everything he put in behind this, and it's a struggle. It's a challenge. So the idea 15 years ago really hit me when I realized, I was just sort of stunned by what we had here in LA. Growing up in a music town, growing up in a social justice focused town, Oberlin was one of the last stops on the Underground Railroad. So if you were an enslaved human being and you could get to Oberlin by sunup, you'd sleep in the basement of the homes that still exist in Oberlin. And you had a one-night run to Lake Erie. You could get to Lake Erie over a journey of that night. And Canada was just on the other side. So you didn't really have the slavery as an institution on the economy side. But the idea of it being socially innovative, we have really tapped into local restaurants, local community parks, 70 shows in women-owned, person-of-color-owned restaurants, 25 concerts in parks all over LA, from Moreno Valley to Antelope Valley to Long Beach. And the goal is to really bring those local businesses in right there into the shows as well. And that's what you see in these other large cities. I remember, obviously, Playboy Jazz Festival is one of those festivals will always be legendary for the incredible music. But I was really stunned that L.A. Was giving, this multimedia, it's the media capital of the world, that the idea that magazine was the way in which this great city, this great international city, paid its sort of homage to the founding of jazz. When I know most of the folk on the cover of those magazines, if a young brother back in the day had ever had any involvement, that would have been our death. And so it was very incongruent for me at the very beginning. Loved the music, loved the musicians, loved the energy in the crowd. But I was really stunned by that fact. But also, when we started looking at all the other international jazz festivals worldwide, came across three distinguishing characteristics. Number one, most of them were multiple weekends, if not multiple weeks. In the case of L.A., it was 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Everybody remembers going to the Hollywood Bowl. Number two, these were hundreds of thousands of people. In the case of Montreal and Detroit, over 1 million people. Here, it was 18,000 on Saturday, 18,000 on Sunday. And then third, half of these were on large bodies of water. So back in sort of those early, probably 10 years ago, I think when I even started talking to you about this, and you really start looking at the historical context, and I mean the pre-colonized Africa, context, you really start to have an appreciation for the history of our people and water. And there was only one place to put this festival as its culminating moment, and that is our beach, Dockweiler Beach.
Yeah, it was really very powerful to think about. And, you were the one that really put this forth, talking about the creation of this LA Jazz Festival. We got, first time we came to these beaches, we were in chains. And we've had so many problems with access to the beaches since then, as referenced by Bruce's Beach, which we were just talking about last hour, the Inkwell, where we did a dedication recently to the LA Jazz Festival, and the way that black people have been intentionally kept off of beaches. Dr. Allison Rose Jefferson has a whole book about it, right? Yep. And so this is sort of, it's almost like musical reparations for us to have a jazz festival that's rooted in social innovation happening on our shores. Absolutely. No, and when I think about just the great work that so many folks have done, you've had Senator Bradford on many times. You've had Supervisor Holly Mitchell. I think a lot of folks who are really trying to reclaim the history, correct the wrongs. This is a moment to exactly do that. And I think this festival, if nothing else, speaks to that idea. And we've been very intentional in giving the absolute acknowledgement of the founding of jazz in New Orleans, in Congo Square, New Orleans. Prior to New Orleans, the impact of the Caribbean. Prior to the Caribbean, the impact of African drumming. And it all comes back to our people. And if we don't tell that narrative, it's going to get lost. And so you're right on the heart and soul, the drum beat of what this festival is all about. It's going to be lost or stolen. We're talking with Martin Ludlow. He's the CEO, the founder, the visionary behind the LA Jazz Festival. If you got questions, call me 800-920-1580. If not, I'll ask them. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551.
You know him, you trust him, and now the whole nation is taking notice. Talkers Magazine, the Bible of talk radio, has ranked Tavis Smiley number 14 on their prestigious Heavy 100 list. 100 voices, the most important in all of talk radio. Tavis has moved from number 45 to number 33 to number 16, and now he's in the top 15, right here on your station. His is one of the most trusted, credible, and reliable voices in broadcast media today. Straight, no chaser, always. Tavis brings you the conversations that matter, the newsmakers, the truth tellers, the voices that don't get heard anywhere else. Weekdays on this station. This is what it sounds like when your community has a seat at the table. Unapologetically progressive. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. We don't tell you what to think, just what to think about.
Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years old, yeah, with more that's coming your way. Congratulations, come on, y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA. Look, 5 years deep and we still going up. Built it from the ground, now the real, no one else. Real talk on the air, then the truth get heard. Every day the proof getting served. He had a vision and he stayed with the plan. Now they tapped in from the beach to the land. Never back down, 7 days of the week, still going up now. We 5 years deep. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. Tavis Smiley, you did it with 5 years today. Congratulations, come on y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA.
Here's to 5 years of making the right people uncomfortable. 5 years of amplifying the voices that deserve a megaphone. 5 years of progressive talk radio that Los Angeles can be proud of. And the gift we're giving you is 5 more years of exactly this. Unapologetically progressive, unmistakably LA. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy anniversary!
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And you're listening to, man, it's Freedman Friday, but it's also Juneteenth. There's so much going on. It's Father's Day weekend. And we have got your August social calendar coming up right now. So when we talk about the LA Jazz Festival, when I talked about socially innovative, specifically, a lot of the stuff is free. I mean, you're talking about all these little shows inside of clubs or restaurants, black-owned spaces that we may normally go to that LA closes early. They would close at 8, 9, 10. But now during Jazz Festival, it's 2 weeks, right?
That's right.
I should know this. 17 days. 2 weeks and some change.
Yep.
Those will stay open later. Those spots of normally sleepy LA. So we're kind of turning LA into more of a New York, New Orleans 24-hour part, not quite 24-hour, but late night parties type spot for jazz for those 17 days. Yeah,
it depends where you go after the show. It might be 24 hours. But but that's right. So the shows are 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. We're working right now. We have a roster of over 200 local restaurants that are really interested. And what we're trying to figure out is just how to make the math work for each venue. We're looking for those venues that have their own following, and you can do something very different. Obviously, people enjoy the idea of having, their favorite adult beverage plus the music and that vibe. But it doesn't have to just be that. What I've said to restaurant owners is, look, if we can make the numbers work where we can cover the artist fee and the basic promotion, that's it. We just want to cover costs. And for us, it's just a win for the entire experience. It helps promote the big weekend where actually some of those tickets are for sale. And that's where the economics of the festival does make sense. So all of these activities starting on Friday, August 7th, right here at Leimert Park. Opening night will be here. Incredible lineup. All Grammy Award winners, starting with Fernando Pullum and the youth, his youth academy, which always puts on a great show. We then go to the legendary Pete Escovedo and his whole band, which is going to be just tons of great energy. From there, we're going to Chief Adjua, from Chief, who is obviously one of the rising stars in the global jazz scene. From there, we go to Kenyon Dixon. From Kenyon, we're going to go to Layla Hathaway. And Layla is just the legend, and she still brings it. If you've seen or heard any of her recent shows, it's good stuff. Layla is killing it right now, so you don't want to miss it. So that's Friday, August 7th. Then the next day, we launch the 2 initiatives.
Friday, August 7th, where?
In Lamar Park, right
Okay.
here in Lamar Park, right next door to the studios. Yeah, so we're going to have great food, great music, great time, a lot of community
So
leaders.
that's an outdoor stage?
It's an outdoor stage, absolutely.
Okay, because I know you have community festivals like that, right? Different stages, one in every council district, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, one in all 15 council districts.
Wow.
So that's just in LA, but we go past that. So to your point, the next day we launch Jazz in the Park. Jazz in the Park, 25 free concerts in public parks all over Southern California. We're going from Long Beach to Palmdale to Moreno Valley to Compton, Inglewood, you name it. We're bringing it. And it's really going to be an incredible experience. Top jazz musicians, Grammy Award winners, Grammy nominees, all over Southern California bringing it. There's such energy. Right now, we're at 165 artists representing 22 nations.
Wow.
And so that was one of the real intentional goals of the festival, a true international jazz festival.
The real fabric of what makes up jazz. The thing that I love is the commitment to social innovation, the commitment to all of the different kinds of jazz. And so I know when people first heard, oh, John Legend and Charlie Wilson and Janelle Monáe, they thought, oh, well, those are more mainstream artists. But, of course, those are headliners that carry, that carry the name and carry the word out and get people in seats.
Yep.
But they're not by far not the only artists that are on the rosters.
On the rosters, yeah. And it's interesting. I was really loving an interview that Jay-Z did recently where he was actually mimicking Rakim, excuse me. And Rakim was doing a rap, and Jay-Z came back into it and said, now I want you to picture a trumpet making that same sound. And all of a sudden, right there, lights went on. He started referencing all of Biggie's raps, and you can hear the same syncopation, the same energies that you would find in a bar on a jazz track versus what you would find. I remember when we first did the naming of New Orleans Corridor, and we had on stage, we had the legendary John Clayton, who I call the Dean of Jazz on the West Coast. He's the last living member of Count Basie's orchestra, on stage with Rance Dobson, right? Co-founding member of the legendary 1500 or Nothing, one of the best hip-hop bands ever in the world. And Rance is sitting here looking at John, and we actually had Irvin Mayfield, Grammy Award-winning trumpeter from New Orleans, and they're all talking about how these early sounds of jazz has influenced the sounds that they've put into their tracks, whether it's been Rihanna, whether it's been Beyonce, whether it's been Jay-Z. And so I think there's always going to be that debate about the purists, right? They're always going to say, hey, that's not real jazz. Well, that's sort of like saying, well, that's not real cooking. I mean, food evolves, menus evolve, and the sounds of jazz has impacted so much of the global music scene that you can still appreciate acoustic jazz, Latin jazz, bohemian jazz, Brazilian jazz. And so I think what we really what we're looking for was a mesh of top-level musicians, to your point, that actually could drive a decent turnout of ticket sales on the beach, but they actually lift up the histories and the narrative of jazz and the musical side of it. By the way, Original Coffee, who's from Jamaica, who's going to be on that stage. Wait till you hear this sister put it down. She is you're gonna hear one of the greatest blends of hip hop, obviously reggae and jazz in one female artist, and it's just an incredible show. You're not going to want to miss Original Coffee, by the way.
But for the purists, I'm just saying there's straight ahead jazz too within the lineup of
So if you take as an example in classical music, so I grew up playing classical music. I was the trumpeter, I was a drummer, I was teaching myself piano, and I can go back and play original Bach and Beethoven songs. You can also go back and look at Tchaikovsky and just look at some of the early tracks. But there are new conductors and directors and writers who are creating new sounds within classical. that happens in jazz as well. And I think what we often get into the debate about is how has that evolved? How has that changed? And is it different? I love listening to Robert Glasper. I love listening to Terrence Blanchard. Mm-hmm. Terrence, to me, is one of the all-time great directors. If you ever have watched a Spike Lee film, you're jamming to some Terrence Blanchard, scores. And listening to how people evolve in the sounds of jazz, I think is part of the incredible element that we all hold most near in jazz, which is improvisation. So I love the debate, and I think the fact that people do debate and talk about it, just imagine for high school students, elementary school, junior high students, and they're actually talking about jazz. Well, that's jazz, that's not jazz. You're actually lifting it up, and you're giving an opportunity for that discussion. So I always love the conversation. Actually I'll say I had a slight debate with Wynton Marsalis. He was one of the first guys that I called. And you're never going to win an argument with Wynton. Never. It's not going to happen. He is one of the gods of jazz. But I had to, express to him that, yes, you have this true acoustic jazz. But just think about what that has led to for acoustic jazz artists to this day. When you listen to what Terrace Martin is doing, nobody would ever say Terrace Martin is not an acoustic jazz musician. But look at what his creativity and his brilliance has done to jazz and to his own music. This guy is just killing it at the Grammys. He's continued to put out incredible albums, and you can hear him on an acoustic jazz track with a Terrence Blanchard or a Robert Glasper, but then you hear him on something with Alex Isley, and they're killing it, on the global track. So I think
he's so prolific. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think
music he puts
it's in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the beholder. So.
Well, let me say this. Let me put it this way. There are, 165 artists so far and counting. Yep. So there's something for everybody on this. If you like jazz, if you like R&B, if you like the hybrids, if you like the new, you like the old, you like the international, you like the New Orleans, you like the Caribbean. There's something. Not only that, but we're
opening. So to your point, we're opening with a big band. So right. John Clayton, who's one of the all-time greats, upright bassist, is putting a true 18-piece, big band on scene. So, and I assure you, for those of you who really want to talk about it, go back, listen to Jelly Roll Morton, okay? One of the early founders of jazz, and then listen to Louis Armstrong. Listen to Duke Ellington. Tell me if you hear anything similar in those three musicians. All of them were very different. All of them had very different energies. And if you go back that far and you hear those differences, you can actually acknowledge, jazz is the sound of freedom. You're free to roam and you're free to improvise.
Happy Juneteenth. Morris Phillips says, say something about John Coltrane. We only got 15 seconds before news, traffic, and sports.
My favorite things. John Coltrane. How about that?
How about that? All right. Look, if you got questions or commentary, you can call us, 800-920-1580. We are talking about the LA Jazz Festival. 17 days of music coming to us in August. It's right around the corner. It's all over the place. If you are on the West Coast, if you're on LA, tap in. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. A deadly crash with a Central Park horse carriage ride has led to authorities shutting down the popular rides altogether. Police say a horse got spooked Wednesday and bolted, and an 18-year-old ended up dying in the accident.
Our move into the park has changed the way that we work, and there's no place for us to tie up our horses anymore.
Well, some people in LA are being told to shelter in place after a massive warehouse fire Wednesday. Well, that fire raging again. Black British actor David Oyelowo is facing backlash after comments he made on a podcast with comedian Godfrey, where he was talking about how he made his British accent sound more black and southern. He said to take the Nigerian accent, slow it down, put a lot of slavery in there, and start to put a bit of subservience in it. Comedian Godfrey also under fire for not checking him on the spot. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Struggle with weight loss? OrderlyMeds.com/radio offers doctor-guided access to options like semaglutide and tirzepatide, often up to 50% less, delivered to your home. Visit OrderlyMeds.com/radio. Individual results may vary. Eligibility required. See site for details.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers had the best record in Major League Baseball after a 3-game sweep over Tampa Bay. The sweep put the Dodgers at 48-27. They have a 9-game lead over San Diego in the NL West. The Dodgers are off today. They start a 3-game series at home Friday night against Baltimore. The first round of the World Cup is generating high TV ratings for Fox Sports and Telemundo, the primary broadcast partners for the World Cup. An average of 6 million viewers tuned into Fox Sports for each of the first 16 group matches. That's a 128% increase from first-round matches for the World Cup in 2022. An average of 7.5 million people watch first-round matches on Telemundo, the Spanish-language network based in Miami. The 7.5 million is a 234% increase from 2022. 18 million viewers on Fox Sports watched the U.S. beat Paraguay last Friday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hello, family. I'm Dr. Paul Wallace inviting you to our annual Set Yourself Free Juneteenth open house at Wallace Skin and Body. Join me this Saturday, June 20th from noon to 4 p.m. Say goodbye to double chins and sagging skin. Say hello to instantaneous skin tightening without surgery by Zerf. Speaking of tightening, it's not too late to work on that body and feel the real you with Body Shaping by M-Sculpt Neo. It's time to reclaim and regrow those lost edges or increase your hair density naturally with U-Secretone stem cell technology. It's 34 times more potent than PRP. We'll demo lasers for black skin, raffle AI skin mapping every hour, and offer 50% off all products. Call 323-296-3376. That's 323-296-3376 to reserve your spot. I look forward to seeing you, and remember, looks count.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavish Smiley. In my prior commentary about Destination Crenshaw, or Procrastination Crenshaw as we call it around here, I opine that sometimes neglect becomes a decision. I want to challenge my own neglect becomes a decision thesis in just a moment. This $100 million revitalization project was supposed to transform 1.3 miles of Crenshaw Boulevard into a world-class celebration of black art and culture. It was first promised to open in 2023, then 2024, and here we are, still waiting, still suffering. The businesses along this corridor, black-owned businesses, are suffocating. Construction chaos everywhere, shuttered storefronts, a community being bled dry by broken promises. So, I stand by my earlier formulation that neglect becomes a decision. But as I have thought more about the gross negligence, the incompetence on steroids, it occurs to me that sometimes neglect isn't just a decision. Neglect is the default position of some black electeds. Not all, but some. They just don't believe that black folk deserve the very best. They don't believe that we deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. So, we go from being constituents on the campaign trail to collateral once they're sworn into office. And when, for example, one is termed out of office and can't run again, but is still clutching the gavel of power, one thinks that he can stay comfortably above the fray while we anguish for years on end. The apparent attitude is, I'll just leave this mess for the next person to clean up. That's what it feels like, Mr. President, Mr. LA City Council President. But it's not just him, it's the local media too, black and white, corporate and independent. Look at how little has been said about this never-ending nightmare in Crenshaw, year after year after year. Nobody at City Hall and nobody who's supposed to be holding City Hall accountable seems to care one bit about the safety and security of Crenshaw residents and the black business owners who are slowly being strangled. Don't be fooled. This isn't just a construction delay. This is what disrespect looks like with a budget attached. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Struggle with weight loss? OrderlyMeds.com/radio offers doctor-guided access to options like semaglutide and tirzepatide, often up to 50% less, delivered to your home. Visit OrderlyMeds.com/radio. Individual results may vary. Eligibility required. See site for details.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Martin Ludlow is here. If you're, a news junkie like a lot of our beloved KBLA delegation, you know the name as a community organizer, going all the way back to you helping Al Gore back in Florida try to get his act together, all the way through to the founding of Bridge Street, which is a socially innovative entertainment company, and now the visionary behind the LA Jazz Festival, a new thing which is happening in August. I'm really excited, with 15 years in the making. First of all, if you're from LA, you can't just set up shop on the beach. You have to go through the Coastal Commission and get all these approvals, and everyone has to sign off on this. It's done. It's happening. It is 17 days at venues all over. We talked about the parks. We talked about the restaurants at Jazz After Dark. You can track all of this at LA Jazz Festival on Instagram or lajazzfestival.com.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the sort of big finale, which is Jazz on the Beach for the whole weekend. That's where we'll see the headliners, John Legend, Janelle Monáe, Charlie Wilson. Who am I forgetting?
Oh, a lot. So 22 artists, Pedrito Martinez, Joey Alexander, Justin Lee Schultz. These guys, from Indonesia, from South Africa, Ezra Collective from the UK, Nubia Garcia, one of the most extraordinary Latina jazz sax players in the world. As I mentioned before, John Clayton and the big band. So it's going to be an incredible show. I think you mentioned Raphael Sadiq, one of my all-time favorites.
No, I forgot Raphael.
Get involved.
I forgot Raphael. Yeah. And that's crazy because it's our anniversary. KBLA's anniversary. Anyway, so that's the big sort of culmination. And those tickets are for sale. But I've seen pictures, the blueprint of the stages and the way this thing is laid out at the beach. It's not like a beach chair and a rickety stage. I mean, this is a whole setup. It's an extravaganza kind of.
We're bringing, I think, one of the most unique productions ever. So I got some of the inspiration on how to build it from an incredible festival in Alabama called the Hangout Festival, and they were one of the first ones to really take a beach, make it an experience with a major concert size stage, touring stage. But to your point, so we're building luxury VIP box seats, 4 and 6 seat box seats. We're going to bring food to your box. You can pre-order your food. We're going to have luxury cabanas that are 10-seat luxury cabanas. The experience coming into Dockweiler Beach is going to be extraordinary. For those that are wondering how you're going to get there, we actually have signed a deal with Kia Forum. So you'll park at Kia Forum. You'll get on one of our shuttles. It'll take you 13 minutes to get right to the beach. We are having an incredible experience with the Inglewood Traffic Management Team. We're working with, as you called it, the California Coastal Commission, LA County Beaches and Harbors. It's going to be great. When you get to the beach, we're going to have, we actually have an open permit where you're going to be able to get your favorite mixed drink and just kind of carry it around. I mean, it's an experience that LA has never had. And so we're really excited about it.
And if you didn't pre-order your food or you didn't get a luxury box, you can still buy food down there.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're going to have great food on there. And you can bring a backpack, put whatever you want in your backpack. If you have your favorite bottle of wine, bring your bottle of wine. You'll have a good time. You're going to have a good time. And it's just, we intentionally put this in third weekend in August. Historically, the weather's always been the best. It's very warm at that time. And when you take that with LA's incredible beach life and the music that we just brought with the food and the drinks, it's just something that, again, never happened before. Hope folks that are listening are going to be some of the first ones to get tickets. As you mentioned, www.lajazzfestival.com. And this weekend, we're actually running a Father's Day special.
What?
20% off for those of you that can get your tickets this weekend. We really want to lift up the fathers of the community, stepdads, granddads, all the above. And
take your dad to some jazz.
Yeah, buy your dad, or whoever was the dad in your life. We know a lot of the dads, like the moms, raised the village. And so for that guy that was that special person in your life, could be your stepfather, your bonus dad, get him a ticket to LA Jazz Fest. This is the first time in the history of the world this has happened. 22 nations represented on that stage, and luxury box seats, luxury cabanas. Get dad something special.
That's so cool, too. I love the idea that we can customize our experience. Either you could be in a box, with waiters bringing you food. You could be in a cabana with your pre-ordered food, or you could be, hanging out with your backpack, general admission, and still buy food and have drink. I mean, I don't think that sounds like a really, what they call it glamping, right? When you go camping, right. But it's glamorous. Right. It's like, I don't know what the word for beach glamping is, but it sounds like beach.
I'll try not to. I'm live on air, so let me just leave it right where you did it.
Bleaching? I don't know, whatever. Glam beaching, whatever it is. It sounds very like a pampered beach experience. Yeah, no, absolutely. I believe the code is DAD 2026. So when you go to the LA Jazz Festival website, go through, you'll see where the lineup is. Go to get tickets. You can actually pull up the whole footprint that Dominique just went over. You can see it in 3D, and you can pick out the seat that you want. Put in that code DAD 2026, and you're gonna get 20% off this weekend, and give that man something special. Oh my gosh! Or just get it for yourself and just pretend
you got it for your dad.
Yeah. Look, but that's amazing. So 20% off right now, and there's all these different levels that you can go to. But that is Saturday and Sunday. That's the conclusion of the festival.
That's right. And then the Friday just before that. So those two dates that you just mentioned are August 22nd, 23rd. But on Friday, August 21st, we've got something else special for you. It is our Caribbean Street Carnival. It is going to happen in downtown Venice. This is a free event. We have 4 stages. We have a Latin jazz stage, a New Orleans stage, an Afrobeat stage, and a Cuba stage. Incredible artists, 20 artists on that show. We're expecting almost 30,000 people to come out. It's going to be an incredible show. If you love the experience of Caribbean jazz, you're gonna not want to miss this. That's for sure.
I mean, to me, that's just crazy. It's like saturating LA, which is a huge region, bigger than many states and nations, with jazz for 17 days.
Yeah, and you're really feeling it. We have been doing just sort of walkthroughs of Venice, knocking on doors, talking to local businesses, talking to local neighbors. By the way, I want to just shout out Councilmember Tracy Park. When you look at Venice right now, it is absolutely clean. You're seeing vibrant businesses. You're seeing neighbors out talking to neighbors. She's been incredible. Her team has been incredible. It's a different kind of Venice than what a lot of us have seen for decades. And so I think testament to everybody before her that's done their part. But right now, she's really doing something magical there. We're excited. And I think what you're going to experience on that day, if you've ever been to New Orleans Jazz Festival, if you've ever been to Montreux, you're going to experience that. You're going to experience that street. A lot of your listeners have. You got some very tuned in listeners.
I know. The
world travelers.
The KBLA delegation is no joke. Morris is in the chat asking me my 5 favorite jazz people, but they're all ancestors. But I love a lot of the people on this show too as well. Yeah, I mean mine are Miles Davis, Billie Holiday, John Coltrane,
Alice Coltrane. Yeah, Alice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Michelle Coltrane's on the show.
There you go. Yeah, say something about John Coltrane. Michelle Coltrane is performing at the LA Jazz
Festival. Michelle Coltrane is on the LA Jazz Festival. We also have Delfeo Marcellus, Jason Marcellus. So we have the Marcellus family represented. I mean, really, this is something that LA is going to be proud about, and we're trying to bring it on the best level possible.
Well, it's a Freedman Friday around here, and we are, the station is owned by Tavis Smiley, who's I say he's more of an historian than a broadcaster. So when we come forward, I want to talk about the special history that LA has with jazz and why this festival may be brand new, but it's actually kind of our birthright. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
If you're an African American mom who is pregnant or have a baby under 6 months old, You deserve care that lifts, listens, and lasts. Black Infant Health is for you. It's a free program with individual support, group sessions, and resources to start your mothering journey. BIH makes space for moms and their families to create community. Learn more about the programs in Los Angeles County. Check us out at blackinfanthealth.org.
Gas prices got you down. LADWP customers get a rebate of up to $4,000 when you buy a used electric or plug-in hybrid vehicle. Installing an EV charger at your home? Get a rebate for that too, up to $1,500. Visit ladwp.com/EV today and start saving. That's ladwp.com/EV.
You've got to try the new TikTok diet.
Just ask Chat.
I just take blue-green algae.
You just have to eat kale. Kale, kale, kale.
I read you should put butter in your coffee.
Or you could trust your gut. When it comes to your energy, digestion, and overall health, how do you know what's actually right for you? That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to show what's going on inside you right now. Not trends, not guesses, your biology. With your results, Viome gives you clear, personalized, actionable guidance. Which foods help you, which ones don't, and which supplements your body actually can benefit from. All based on the world's largest gut health databases and thousands of clinical research studies. Many people who use Viome report better digestion, more energy, and an improved mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing.
And maybe still eat the kale?
Maybe. Learn more at viome.com/know. V as in Victor, IOME.com/KNOW. And use coupon code VIOME50 to save $50 off your purchase.
And eat everything blue.
No thanks.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
In a world full of noise, one station keeps it real. KBLA Talk 1580, where the conversation goes deeper, the voices sound like yours, and the issues that matter most to our community take center stage. Progressive, powerful, unapologetically us. Whether you're driving through the city or tuning in from your home or office, join the public square. KBLA Talk 1580, your home for talk that enlightens, encourages, and empowers. Listen live on our free KBLA 1580 app, on our website at KBLA1580.com, or on your radio dial at 1580 AM.
Unapologetically progressive.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass, and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Martin Ludlow is here in the studio. I can't believe I got you in here in the studio. I don't think you've been on my show in the studio since I was 2 radio stations ago.
I think it was the last radio station.
Okay, whatever. But, full disclosure, they already know, but I'm on the board of the foundation.
Yes.
The Jazz Festival, LA Jazz Festival Foundation. What we're talking about right now, though, is the actual LA Jazz Festival, which is 17 days of music in the end of August, culminating the 22nd, 23rd of August on Dockweiler Beach with an amazing jazz experience. Now, that one, the tickets are already on sale now. Can we get them now?
Yes, absolutely.
And the Father's Day special is this
right
weekend,
now.
LAJazzFestival.com.
20% off on tickets.
What's the code again?
The code is DAD2026.
DAD2026. Okay, let's talk about LA and jazz, because I always think New Orleans. I think about New York maybe because my dad, the late, great Amiri Baraka, took me around to hear hardcore jazz at clubs, LA hole-in-the-wall clubs, and we don't necessarily think of LA. So what is LA's special legacy of jazz?
Yeah, really appreciate you raising that. And I think it just does depend on who you talk to, because I think the jazz historians will distinctively articulate There's a New Orleans sound. There's a New York sound. There's a Memphis sound. There's a Chicago sound. And there definitely is a Kansas City sound, and there definitely is an L.A. There's a Bay Area sound. And I think if you talk to musicians that grew up in those regions, they would talk about the influences of those artists from the early days in those regions. But LA's story is so unique. People think about Hollywood as just sort of this incredible city that exploded one day. So we joined together, you, myself, and other members of the LA Jazz Festival Foundation Board of Directors, and worked with the great council member Heather Hutt and our mayor Karen Bass, along with the former mayor of New Orleans, Mayor LaToya Cantrell, to dedicate Jefferson Boulevard here in LA as New Orleans corridor in LA. Why did we do that? When you go back a century ago and you look at the early jazz musicians coming out of New Orleans who were really trying to do two things. They were trying to make money for their family, trying to keep food on the table, but they also were really fed up with Jim Crow racism that was so overt in the South. They came out to L.A. along the Union Pacific Rail line, many of them coming through Watts, ended up at Jefferson. That was sort of that black Catholic church right there on Jefferson near Western, is really our Ellis Island for the Creole musicians. As they got here, they would meet up with family members, they would get connected to jobs, housing, and the places that they would work were Hollywood. This was a time when Hollywood was really beginning to use music as a way to take those scores and elevate the film. As Creole musicians were coming here, playing those scores by day, by nighttime when they came back to South LA where they had arrived, they were looking for places to hang out, have dinner with their family. That evolved into a massive explosion of over 75 late-night dinner supper clubs. And the legendary one of all of them was the Dunbar Hotel. That's like ground zero. And so when you think about a 110-year history of jazz, you could put arguably 109 years of that in L.A. And the greats played here, right? From Ella Fitzgerald to Dizzy Gillespie and everybody in between. So one journalist asked me, so how does it feel to be bringing jazz to L.A.? And I was like, what are you talking about? Jazz has been here since jazz has been here. And it's just an incredible history. And I think it's one that we're just excited about elevating. And I'll say this, our goal with this is to lift the jazz ecosystem. I literally was on a call of the largest benefactor to San Francisco Jazz the other day. He is absolutely blown away with what this is doing for jazz on the West Coast. And I told him one of the parts of the festival that a lot of folks don't know about is on Friday during the day on August 21st, we're actually having what's called the State of Jazz Conference, where we are intentionally inviting the producers and promoters of the local and state and other regional jazz festivals to come together so we can all talk about how do we work together? How do we lift up the ecosystem of jazz and help expand not only the genre, but the business inside? So we're excited about that, and that's what it's all about. It's just trying to expand, grow, and bring a little bit more to this great city.
And that's actually pretty dope. I think that's why we did the unveiling of more artists at the Dunbar Hotel, which felt like one of those amazing historical moments. And it, and it reminds us of that history. Do you think there's a renaissance with the young guys, though? I feel like we're having a little modern day jazz renaissance right now. We just got a Blue Note. We got all these guys that are super talented. I
can't get out of this show this morning without lifting up the world stage. I was just over at the world stage the other day, sitting down with Dwight, and we were talking about exactly what you just said. He can feel it. He can feel the energy. And as you know, we had the world stage big band play at the unveiling of the next lineup of the artists when we were at the Dunbar Hotel. And that stage, when you think about the Kamasi Washingtons, the Terrace Martins, the influence that Herbie Hancock had through the world stage on so many of these young cats, I don't think we're just getting started. Battle Cat was lifting up Ryan Porter, trombonist that just passed away.
Yeah,
and just, there's just so much rich dynamic that's happening in jazz right now through these young cats.
Yeah, serious talent. The next generation is on deck. And I love that you had Dwight Tribble also playing there at the launch. That was a beautiful thing. We can find our tickets at lajazzfestival.com. You can follow on Instagram at LA Jazz Festival. Can you just share at least one thing that no one else knows about the LA Jazz Festival? Can we get one scoop this morning, please?
One scoop.
One scoop. Okay, we got the Father's Day discount. But besides the Father's Day discount, is there one little scoop you can share?
Well, I'll just tell you, we're being super transparent with everything that we're trying to talk about. The cabanas. I'll say something about the luxury cabanas. Yesterday, I just had one of the most great experiences working with our production coordinator, and she was showing me some of the some of the ideas that they're thinking about in terms of furnishings for the cabana. You're actually going to have 10 seats that sort of sit out on this porch looking at the main stage, and then inside the cabana, it's going to be a living room. It's a private hospitality zone, and I just sort of got these goosebumps looking at it because it was like, wow, we are literally 50 days away from opening night. And I guess you could say 60 days prior to that. And it's just such an experience. I don't encourage you to try to do an international jazz festival year one ever in your life. I can't say that it's always been. No, I'm excited. We have such an incredible team. And I should give a shout out to, right now we're at about 45 executives on our executive team, from Quincy Jones's former CEO, Adam Fell, to the marketing team at Coachella, to some of the best production leads in the world. Phil Strong, legendary front of house audio mixer, is our production director. He works for Mariah Carey, Common, everybody in between. And we're just top to bottom. LA, we are trying to bring the best in the world to you to help produce this. Because LA deserves this. It is our city. It's our time. And to the point we just raised, jazz has been in LA for over 100 years. We are reclaiming our history. We're not bringing jazz at all. We're just putting it on a scale that it hasn't been before. And I'm excited about it.
Reclaiming our history and taking back the beach.
Taking back that beach.
From the Inkwell to Dockweiler. Taking back the beach. Martin Ludlow, I'm so excited. Everyone knows that. I've been talking about this. I'm so excited for this festival, and I really want to thank you for doing it in such a conscious and intentional way. The historical tours, bringing it to the community festivals, but also a swanky living room on the beach ain't bad either.
With specialty mixed drinks. So that's the best part.
So that was the scoop. That was the only scoop I was able to get you, but it's kind of fresh.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. July 10th, Friday, July 10th, we are going to be announcing a major tribute to our Latin jazz lineup. And so we'll be getting more details to you. And we got some surprises coming out on July 10th. So stay tuned.
Space. Okay, July 10th it is. In the meantime, lajazzfestival.com. You can get tickets right now. The best of Tavis Smiley's next. The highlights from the week that was. He's got them all for you. And he had quite a week. Chance the Rapper was in here yesterday, among others. So you'll get to hear that. Don't forget to tap in with me on socials. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. I'll see you later. If you're coming to the Beehive for our Juneteenth party, I'll be there all day. Like my dad, the late, great Amiri Baraka, used to say, a person is either free or they are not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom. Let's free the beach with the LA Jazz Festival. Happy Freedom Day. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day from all of us at KBLAradio.com. One love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tammy Eswick with BIN News Now. A deadly crash with a Central Park horse carriage ride has led to authorities shutting down the popular rides altogether. Police say a horse got spooked Wednesday and bolted.